Hello and welcome to today's Codebook tutorial. Although Codebook has a wide range of pre-configured reports, we understand that companies or individuals may have predefined formats they need to adhere to. The Codebook Room Data and Equipment Flex report allows those companies or individuals to take pre-existing report layouts as a template and use these to create new reports directly from Codebook to match that exact layout. Before we start on the practical side of the creation of the template, I wanted to cover the key stages of this process first. In total, there are 6 key stages to the creation of a Flex FF&E room data and equipment report. We're going to run through these quickly as an overview now, and then delve into each topic individually. So we click Create Report from within the Codebook interface, and we start with step 1, select the Flex definition. Because you can have multiple custom reports inside of Codebook, what we're doing here is simply selecting the type of report we want to run, i.e. a pre-existing one, or perhaps we want to create a new one, and then continuing on to step 2. Step 2, select the room data template. In total, there are 2 templates for the Flex FF&E and room data report. We have a template for how we want the room data to be laid out, and we have a template for how we want the equipment data to be laid out. So in step 2, we're setting the template we want to use for the room data. Now, step 3 is we're selecting the type of data we wish to pass to that template. So we're going to want to push things like room number, room code, area required, area designs, perhaps your design issues, your finishes, your mechanical and electrical information. So we're just selecting the data we wish to see on that report. Step 4 is we're selecting the equipment data template. So it's the other side now. We're dealing with equipping and the FF&E list we wish to see in this report and how that's to be laid out. So step 5 is a continuation of step 4. What we're doing here is we're selecting the type of data we wish to see in that report. So do we want to see codes, descriptions, groupings, classifications, costings, etc. And finally, step 6, finish and create the report. Now, if we have a template already set up, we can negate step 2, 3, 4, and 5 and move directly to step 6 from step 1 by simply clicking the finish option. So we're going to move on to step 1 now. Step 1, select the Flex definition. So you'll be confronted with step 1 on this form, and we can select a pre-existing template. All of the sample data will come with a pre-existing room data and equipment Flex FF&E report, so you can take a look at it, run it, and see how the output's created. We can create new templates, we can copy templates, and we can delete templates. Now, if I wish to create a new template, I'd click the option for Add, I would enter a name for it, and I'd move through step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. If I've got a pre-existing template already set up, I can negate the need to go through step 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 by simply selecting the definition to be used and then clicking the finish option. And this will take us straight to step 6, where we create the report. So step 2, select the room data template. What we have here is an example of a room data template I created previously. So we have our title, our project information, the design criteria, color, occupancy, activities. And we can lay this out in any way we wish. Once we're happy with the layout, we can then start inserting the data from Codebook. So looking at this in a bit more detail now, if we move on to a blown up area of step 2, we can see that Codebook can create the template for us, or we can use our own existing templates. If we look across the top here, what we've done here is let Codebook create the template for us. Codebook's looked at the data we wish to see in that room data report, and it's already created the mail merge fields in Word for us as part of our document. What we can do then is copy and paste these and move them about as we see fit. If, however, we've actually created a template separately from Codebook, what we can do at step 2 is tell Codebook where that template is, and once we've told it where that template is, we can move through the other steps, and as part of the final step 6, Codebook will create the mail merge field where we can actually put our placeholders into relevant locations of that document. So we can see here that we've got room category. This is just derived from the insert mail merge field, selecting the mail merge field we wish to insert into the document and placing it into the correct location. We'll cover this a bit more in detail in the practical side shortly. So step 3, we've assigned our template in step 2. Step 3 is we're telling Codebook which type of data we wish to see in this report. So I can select from various tables in Codebook, such as room, design issues, finishes, equipping, and then I can select the field, and then I can map that to the word field I wish to see. Step 4 is we're selecting the equipment data template. Just as we did with step 2, we're telling Codebook where to find that template, and if it doesn't exist, Codebook will create it for us. So we're keeping it very simple on our example. We've created a template with 5 columns: quantity, group, class, code, and description, and Codebook will fill those in for us. Step 5 is we're selecting the fields we wish to report on for step 4. So we can see here now we have the total quantity, the group, the class, the code, and the description. And you can see in the column order, the location Codebook's actually going to place that data in that template. Step 6. This is the final process now, and Codebook will perform validation. It will create all of the merge fields in Word for both the room data and the equipment flex reports. It will combine those now, and then the final option here is to create report, and Codebook will create a unified room data and equipment report based from those templates in one document and then PDF it. Now if we skip back a little bit here, at step 1 we could select the flex definition. If we had a template already set up, as I said previously, we can negate step 2, 3, 4 and 5, and we can just simply click create report, and Codebook will use the templates set up in 2, 3, 4 and 5 and create that report straight away for you. We're going to move on to the practical side now, so we're going to switch over to Codebook and over to the report templates. Okay, so moving on to the practical side of this demonstration now, we have Codebook open and we're going to select the reporting tool. Now we're going to go down to room data and select the room data and equipment flex doc report. We're going to then choose the rooms we wish to create our report for. So I'm just going to choose my NCU11 and click the create report option. And this takes us to step 1 of the process. So step 1 in a flex style report wizard is select the definition. So I've got 2 examples here. I've got my example flex report data and equipment report, and I've got a name for that, and I have my demo template clean. I can add, I can copy, and I can delete. If I've perhaps set up a flex definition in another project, I can then import that through the import definitions option. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my example flex room data and equipment report and click next. Now Codebook's going to go away and ask me now, where is the Word template that I wish to use for creation of this report? So I'm going to click browse, and I'm going to tell it to use my clean report. And I'm going to show you what this looks like now. So what I've taken It's a typical healthcare style report, and I've created all of my placeholders. So I've got an area for my project information, department, room number, my design criteria, my color, my design issues, my finishes, my equipping, all of the traditional M&E information. So this is the template I'm going to be using for that report. So we're going to close that. We've told CodeBook to use that report now. We're going to click Next. Now in step 3 we define the type of information we wish to output to that report. And as you can see, I've created the placeholders or where I want my information to output already. I can look through and say, okay, I want room name, and the word merge field is going to be used is room name. If I perhaps wanted to add a new one, I would say, okay, the data I want is in the room category, and I want to push my briefing notes into this document. What I can do now is give it a word name, and click Next. I can do that for all of my associated data. So we can see if we click under the Select Table filter, we can see room instance information, room data design issues, room data briefing, room data finishes, and room data environmental. We can also limit the character length of these fields as well. So if notes are getting truncated, it would be a case of coming back to here and increasing the character count. So we're going to click Next, and CodeBook now is asking us for the template for our FF&E report. So if we go away and look at that now, we can see we've kept it very simple, with a total of 5 columns with quantity, group, class, code, and description. So we don't have to do anything special with that, we're just going to leave it as it is. This is created automatically via CodeBook, but you can use your own. And we're going to move on to step 5. And step 5 is denoting the type of data we wish to see in our FF&E report. So we can see that I've got my total quantity, my group, my class, my code, and my description. And what we're doing here is specifying which order those bits of information are going to appear in those columns. So in column 5 we're going to get description, in column 1 we're going to get total quantity. If I wanted to add new information, I'd go and make a change to the template, then I would come back to step 5 and say pass my summary and then my description B to column 6. If I want to delete something, I can just delete that row. We're going to move on to step 6 now. And what step 6 is doing is validating. It's creating those merge fields in Word if they don't already exist. And this is checking the files and the templates exist. What we can do now is click Create Report, and CodeBook will create reports. But we're not finished with the template setup and layout yet. So what we're going to do here is click Close. We've gone through our validation process. The mail merge fields have been created. We now need to go back and actually adjust our template. So if I click Close and find my clean template, we can see that we're going to get a warning here. Opening this document will run the following SQL command. So we need to click Yes to this one. If I just drag that across, we can see the template I had earlier on. So what CodeBook's done now is it's looked at the information we want to see in that report, and it's created a mail merge field for each one of those data entries. So if I look for project, for instance, we'll go to mailings and insert merge field, and we can then look for project in our mail merge field, project title, and you see CodeBook will insert the placeholder, the merge field for that data. We can then go to department, and we'll go to department name and then room, and we're going to scan now and look for room name. There we go, room name. And finally, room number. And we can work through this template and gradually fill in where we want to see that information appear. I'm not going to run through that in this demonstration because it will take too long, but we work through it systematically. We insert those mail merge fields where we want the data to be visible. Once we're happy with that, we can then click Save. We're going to close this template now. I'm going to go back to Codebook, back to the reporting tool, back to the room data and equipment flex report. So I'm going to click Create Report again. We can see that the last one we have active is selected, the example room data and equipment report. And we're not going to step through step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 now, because we've got our report set up, we've got our template set up, we just want to run that report now. So we're going to click Finish, and Codebook's just going to run through a quick validation, and we're going to click Create Report. Now Codebook will ask us where we want that report to output, so we're just going to click Save. Now these reports typically take as long as a standard Word report take. So if you've got 400 rooms to generate, that may take a little bit of time. We can see that report is completed now and it's opened up on one of my other screens. So if I drag it across, we can see that we've got our project, our department, our room and our room number. And because I didn't fill in any of the additional information, we don't have the placeholders there yet, so that information has not been imported into this report. If we scroll down, we can see that the equipment report, the FF&E report, has been added to this document. So we can see our quantity, group, class, code and description. And we can see that Codebook split those up into their key categories. And finally, because we have images associated with this room, we can see that Codebook's output those images into that report. If you have any questions, please contact the support at codebookinternational.com email address, or Skype us on codebook.support, or feel free to call us on our normal support telephone number. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.